Hello, everybody. Welcome to Turffontein. Beautiful Turffontein racecourse at the moment. Right now, there's a little bit of wind about that's blowing. It's not sure if it wants to go headwind, tailwind, or side wind at the moment. So it is swirling, but it's a lovely afternoon here. And we look forward to for 9 fantastic races. And I say that because there's some quality horses running today. This being the Victory Moon in the build-up, of course, to the Betway Summer Cup come 26 November. Well, just a reminder, there's a disclaimer naturally, so just so that you're aware, there it is, not for anything. Well, we've got Daryl Marie and Darren Burrows, two good boys at the end of the day, and, they don't need any claims against them, so this is just a reminder for all of you out there. You need to decide for yourselves if you're willing to follow or not. Okay, let's get straight into the action. The first on the card, good to have Daryl with me, and Darren's, of course, unfortunately can't join us, but he has sent his selections through.
Yeah, I look forward to previewing this card. Thank you, Claude.
We need you to get strong. You're not feeling
Yeah.
so well today,
Not
but I think you
feeling-
need to late night or what's the story?
No,
No,
I was in bed early, but yeah, as the meeting will go on, I'll perk up.
You'll strengthen
Yeah.
up. Okay, well, that's good news. So happy. Dominic will be delighted to hear that. Okay, the story in terms of the first Foster Nova's favourite here at 12 to 10. That's the current price, 12 to 10 about Johan Janssen van Vieren's horse. And then the two first-timers, Daryl, New Mexico and Malek. Those two that are trading around 5 and 7 to 1. That seem to be the dangers in the market, and nothing really else catching the eye. What's your take?
Claude, I think I'm going to be leaning towards the race runners. There hasn't really been much anti-post support for any of the first-timers, and the betting's been out for a good couple of days by now. So if something is really fancied strongly, it should have shortened by now. Foster Nova on debut was heavily supported. Just found one too good for him on that occasion. That horse has run since then, ruled by force. Very unlucky not to remain unbeaten. Then next time out, he contested that Bloodstock Sales Cup race. Finished alongside the likes of Destiny of Souls. He's won a race. His following start, he finished close up. So I think he's strong. His form's certainly strong enough to get it right today. Foster Nova.
They seemed to be up the straight last week when the track came back, running up the outside anyway, from what we saw. So he's obviously favourably drawn this horse as Foster Nova. We've got some sort of ideas to what we want to do here. Darren Burrows is very big on this horse. You guys can have a look now at what we're about to put up for you for race number 1. Here's a look at what the selection is, and he doesn't believe that the first timers will be good enough to beat Foster Nova in your opener at the Big T. Race number 2 on the card, and race number 2, of course, is run up the straight. And in this case, there's a first-timer from the Michael de Kock stable called Sea Anemone is the name of the horse. And Randall Simons is riding this. There's been market support for this for the last 2 or 3 days, and is currently trading at 17 to 20. Mighty Goddess number 4 is the second choice at 33 to 10, and then you've got 14 to 1 bar 2. So an absolute, well, the market's ignoring everything else. You can sort of write your own ticket. This must be quite decent from a market perspective. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, the word's been out for quite some time, Claude. She was a reserve runner for, I think, last weekend's meeting, and apparently the connections were quite upset that she never got in. That's what I was hearing.
Right.
Irrespective of that, she has found anti-post market support. And let's just touch on her breeding. Now, Dam won 5 races between 1,000 and 1,200. She's a half-sister to Marmara C, who won 11 races. All 11, Clyde, happened to be in Port Elizabeth. He had a few starts up here on the Highvelds. I think he had 5 races here. Never managed to crack it. Went to 11. Went to PE. He's an 11-time winner. Watch how she goes down to the start. I mean, for those that want to have a bet on the nose, she is very short. For the bar pot, I never banked her. I backed her up with Mighty Goddess. I mean, she's got the racing experience. She's super fit. She's going to go handy, and at worst, I believe she's going to run second.
The safe play.
Yeah. So, last start, she pulled 2.5 lengths clear of the third place runner. So they were quite some distance ahead of the balance of the field. I think she's good enough to run in the top 2.
All right. Sea Anemone and Mighty Goddess in terms of Daryl's selections. We've got those for you now. We'll put up race number 2 in terms of what the guys would like to do. So we'll start with, because it's the bipot. And firstly, Darren likes these all to comes, and he's suggesting that we go Sea Anemone win, a Quantum Theory win, Big Burn a place, and Sparkling Water a place. So Darren wants to invest in that today. He suggests that's what you perhaps should consider. From a bipod perspective, let's have a look at what Daryl's doing. He's, as you heard already, he wants to go the safer route and go 4 and 14 in the first leg by banker the 1, by 2 and 4, by banker 2, by 1, 9 and 12, by 2, 4 and 17. It's a 360 Rand bipod. Okay, guys, let's get place accumulators on now. Third race, this is the horse Quantum Theory. You saw in Darren's bipod, trading at around 9 to 10 in the market. I Am Giant has shortened from 4 to 1 into 33 to 10. There was a lot of talk about this horse last time out. Swing Upon a Star is at 9 to 2, number 2 on the card. Tamarisk Tree, the 5, is at 8 to 1. And then you can get 14 to 1 about Antigua Night, number 6, and then 16 to 1 about Mo Jive. So all runners being quoted, but Quantum Theory does seem to be a really good horse. I mean, I've heard Muzi say that this is really
Sure,
top.
Claude, he was super impressive in his comeback run. I thought he was just given a chance from a wide draw on that occasion. And barring himself and the winner, they were giving weight away to the balance of the field. So for him to close in like he did, giving weight away, was an impressive performance. He's obviously not best weighted over here. The filly is, Antigua not. But I'm not going to read too much into that. I'd certainly make him the horse to beat. We saw the form line being franked. Aravadicha's won. Bless My Stars has franked that form. So I think he'll take a power beating. I Am Giant, always been highly regarded by the stable and connections. I think they were distraught. He got beat last time out. But it was the inside track, 6 furlongs. So maybe caught a little bit flat-footed. So he's certainly going to be a different prospect on the stand side over the 1400. And he is obviously Quantum Theory's biggest danger.
Yeah, would certainly be. That is the case. So they were talking about that horse, I Am Giant, as well. Not sure if you can see in the background some of the horses that are still here at the races, working this morning and doing their little thing as we are live here at Turffontein Racecourse. Quantum Theory 9 to 10 is above average. I Am Giant could be anything. And the stables are in form. I Am Giant 33 to 10. Let's get place accumulators up now. We'll have a look at what the plan is in terms of what the boys want to do. Daryl's going banker, the 1 Quantum Theory, by 2 and 4, by banker 2, by 1, 9, 12, by 2, 4, 17, by 1, 2, 5, and banker 1 at the back. It's a 270 Rand place accumulator. That's from Daryl's perspective. Darren's also having a go at PAs. He's bankering 1. And if, as I indicated earlier, he thinks it's a fairly straightforward card, banker 2 Meridius, banker the 2 just now Desert Miracle, banker the 1 Big Burn in PAs. Then he wants to banker the 2 Sparkling Water by 1, 3, 5 in the second last leg. And the last leg is going 1, 3, and 4. And he's spending 450. Let's get on to the Pick 6 now. Meridius is all the talks, trading 17 to 10 this horse for the Ash Fortune stable. Gavin Lorena's taken the ride on this. Ignatius, the second choice, trading at 4 to 1. That's number 4 on the card. Then you've got Alec Lairds runner number 3, Atticus Finch, who's trading at 5s, and then 5 to 1 about number 6, African Torrent. 6 isn't better about the others. We're going with Meridius, or what's the story?
Obviously, he's my top pick, Clyde, but I think currently the way the market has been priced up, I think Ignatius represents more value. Meridius, my only doubt I've got with him, Clyde, his half-brother, Nvidia, went 1,400 meters maximum. All his siblings sprinted. His dam was a 5 furlong specialist. This is 1,800 on a stiff testing stand side track. They've had a bit of rain, so the going's been posted as good, but the sting is certainly out of the ground. If it was a fast run mile, I'd make him very, very hard to beat, but it's a 1,800 on the stand side track. He has to prove that he does get the distance, Clyde. What are you looking at?
I know you're worried. I'm just checking. I'm really refreshing my memory on I haven't got the computer from online at the moment, unfortunately. That's why I'm just double checking. But yeah,
I mean, he was unlucky.
You're worried about that. You worried about that.
He has to prove that he has to prove that he gets.
Yeah, no, I get you, and you've got a very valid point. He may well not get you may not get it, but all right. So is Ignatius the only worry, or is there something else in there?
Atticus Finch could certainly be well above average, but I thought Ignatius' turn of foot last time out on the inside track, the way he picked up run for cover, impressed me. Might not impress many others, but I was certainly impressed.
Okay.
And obviously the Fortune Yard have a line through run for cover, but Ignatius on debut, that was eye-catching debut. We didn't see him anywhere near his best in his second start, so I'm just willing to put a line through that effort. And last time I'd see one going away, so this horse could be anything. Being by Silvano, we certainly haven't seen the best of him yet, and he's got plenty more to offer. So the only reason I've got my doubts is the distance, but barring that, Meridius and Ignatius to fight.
All right, so basically what Daryl is saying is if it stays, it'll win. Let's have a look then at the exotics now because it's pick sixes. So we'll put those up for you. And Daryl's pick six is 2 and 4 in the first leg by Banker the 2. Desert Miracle, then 1, 9 and 12, then 1, 2, 4, 13, 16, 17, then 1, 2, 3, 5. And at the back, we want to go as many as we can. If we're running, we don't want to miss it. So 1, 3, 4, 6, 8 and 12 at the back. Darren Burrows, I think, has got a pick six worked out as well. And we'll put that up for you in just a moment. You can have a look at what Darren suggests, and he wants to go a bit wider than that. So he's also got his doubts, I see. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the first leg. By 1, 2, 3, 5, he's looking to beat Desert Miracle as Darren Burrows. By 1, 5, 7, 9, 12. But he is willing to bank a Sparkling Water, which is quite interesting. He thinks that she'll be good enough to win the Victory Moon. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 7. And at the back, he's going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, and spending 2,400, 240 Rand for 10%, or 24 Rand for 1%. Well, let's talk about Desert Miracle now. She is priced up even money to win this. She's taking him on up the straight, and some may say to you that she's probably better up the straight or up as a sprinter. We'll see what she's all about today. Sweet Pepper is 7 to 2 is the second choice, and then Moon Shining Through is trading at 4 to 1. You've got the one Valdorcia back in the play at 5s, and 14 to 1 and better about the others. No doubt about Desert Miracle's ability. I mean, we saw what happened last time. She was slicing through and that short-head defeat. But up the straight, which is quite interesting.
Yes, Clyde, you know, damn, I'm sure you recall Walwish Chair.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, she won the Camellia Stakes over this course in distance, the 1160 up the Turffontein straight. I'm not worried about the distance whatsoever. And we all know she's got the ability. I thought that was a cracking comeback run. They opted to drop her in. Those were the tactics.
Yes.
If many are doubting the ride, why he was so far
Mike
back.
told us.
Exactly.
No, he told us. He
Mark
gave the
told
instruction,
Samanga, drop her out
Correct.
and let her run on. And you have to be you had to be impressed with her run. So I make her the one to beat. But Clyde, I know I've bankered her in my pick six. I've got healthy respect for Moon Shining Through. Now, we haven't seen the best of this filly, and she's unexposed. So she's only 3 kilograms outside the weight, and she's unlucky not to have been unbeaten at this stage of her career. The only time she got beat, she had excuses. You could just put a line through that effort. So in my mind, she's an unbeaten filly. We haven't seen the best of her, and she's only 3 kilograms out with Desert Miracle. So I'm not ruling her out of winning claims, but I do think Desert Miracle, right now, I'll be with her. I was very impressed with her comeback run. So, 2 from 5 for me.
Okay. So at this stage of the game, it is Desert Miracle. Everything does seem to be pointing to her. We've got race 5, which does indicate jackpot time. So he has a look at what the guys would like to do. It's the safe play. The jackpot's the safe play, we call it. 1, 2, 3, 5 by 1, 5, 7, 9, 12. By 1, 2, 4, 13, 16, 17, and 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7 at the back. Welcome back, everybody. Let's get on to race number 6. We are here at Turffontein Racecourse this morning doing this preview for you. Daryl Marie and myself. Darren Burrows couldn't join us, unfortunately, but we do have his selections in terms of this race day. I can tell you there's a bit of wind about. I can tell you that it's been swirling, headwind, tailwind. Is not sure which direction it wants to go, but the track is looking great. I think the pen's at 23, and certainly in a very good condition indeed. There's a 4-meter spur, just so that you know. All right, let's get on to the Gardenia now. And right here, The Mike de Kock stable's got this horse Ifiko top of the boards at 22-10, who does seem to be rather impressive. Big Burn is at 4-1, number 1 on the card. 2 Kissing Point is at 8-1, and then the 3 Casa Inverno you can get around 10-1. It's 12s and better about everything else in the race. There are a number of horses in here, Daryl, that have got the ability. It's not plain sailing for one particular horse, I don't think. Personally, I'm of the view the horse with the most ability in the race is Big Burn if she switches it on. But we yet to see if she can today or not. We'll see how that goes.
Clyde, if you watch her run, her first start for Sean Terry, she was in contention right up to the 150-meter mark or 100 meters out. Thereafter, she just folded. I mean, she's slung in over here. She's 4 kilograms best in. Many will say that she's best over 6 furlongs or 1,200 meters, but she's run second over 1,000 meters to Master Archie in the computer form sprint over this course and distance. So this thing is out of the ground. I'll make her the filly to beat. I think she's going to come on with that run under her belt now. She's stripped much fitter, and like I've touched on, she's weighted to win. Ifiko, now she's been super impressive in her last couple of starts. She just keeps on getting better, and she kills her opposition early with that lightning pace. She really puts them on the back foot from the jump. We've seen that form line stand up quite nicely. Obviously, Flower Bomb won from there, Chivana, Tyconaut, who
Just the other day,
just
I
got
beat the
beat
Shorthead.
yeah.
Very unlucky.
Yeah, but I'm going to say Flower Bomb's going to reverse the form with Ifiko. She's only, I think, a kilogram better off for a 2.5 length beating, but she was returning from a rest on that occasion. She's going to love this thing out the ground. And Ifiko got away from her on the inside track. This inside track, I really believe Flower Bomb's going to reverse the form. So for me, it's 1, 12, and 9 in that order.
Okay, interesting race. There are a few that can win here, as you heard, and we've got some selections for you. It's a second jackpot, so 6, 7, 8, 9, perhaps an opportunity to do so. Let's get our second jackpot on, and this is what it looks like. We're going 1, 5, 7, 9, and 12 by 1, 2, 4, 13, 16, and 17. Then 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7, and at the back 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 12. All right, welcome back. Race 7. It's time now for the Victory Moon. And our Hollywood Bets Durban July winner is back in action, Sparkling Water. She's top of the boards at 3-1 here this afternoon. Second base, number 4, is trading at around 8-1 or thereabouts. 8-1 about number 17, Perfect Witness. The 1, William Robertson, is 8-1. And 8-1 about number 13, Out of the Darkness. 14s and better about the other. So outright favourite, although you can still get 3-1, is Sparkling Water. Lots of horses with ability here, but she's one of the best we've seen.
Yeah, obviously be no surprise to see her win this and the Summer Cup. I mean, she's a champion. And she just keeps on improving, Clyde. She's always had ability, but now she's delivering on the racetrack. So Darren Burrows is very bullish on her. I think he banked it in All Exotics.
Yes, he has. Very keen on her,
I think second base is at an ideal prep. I think he does represent value. He's at 8-1, Clyde.
8-1.
I mean,
you get 9. In fact, you can get 10-1 now, second base.
Okay, great.
You like?
He needed his comeback start. He moved up to a point, just tired very late. And last time out on the inside track, I mean, he gave that filly, Pink Tourmaline, 7.5 kilograms. I thought that was a very decent effort. I'm making the horse to beat because of his prep. So I'm going to go second base. And then Perfect Witness, don't discount her chances. She is best weighted over here, a kilogram best in. She actually has run second to Puerto Manzano over this course and distance. That was in the Jubilee. I don't know if you recall that race. Naval Guard was in that race too.
Yes.
And the three of them pulled well clear of the balance of the field.
I do recall it, yeah.
She's only got 50 kilograms to shoulder, a good draw. A lot is in her favor to at least run into the money today.
Yeah.
So second base, Sparkling Water and Perfect Witness. Those are my top 3. But I don't believe the race stops there, Clyde. If you're playing trifectas and quartets, don't leave out number 16, Platinum Sky. I know he's a very disappointing sort, but he does have ability. And I think with this thing out the ground, maybe he could just fill in the back end of the trifecta or quartet.
Okay. I think Zeus is a big runner myself, personally. I watched Zeus the other day when in his run, and I thought that that was on the inside track, and this track's going to suit him better. I like him. He's at 16 to 1. Don't leave Zeus out trifectas and quartets either.
And,
it's
another
this,
one, sorry, Clyde, another one, Out of the Darkness.
Yep.
I mean, if people are tipping Perfect Witness, he's beaten her and better off at the weights.
Yeah. So the anomaly, of course, is we're going into the Betway Summer Cup. You know, some are not going to be, they're not going to be 100% tuned for this today. I mean, it's only a few weeks away, I understand that, but perhaps they're close enough, right?
Now, maybe this is just the fine-tuning, but they need to be very close to spot on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2 weeks away, isn't it?
Yep, a few weeks away. Sparkling Water, the one to beat, trading at 3 to 1. Here's a look at our selections for this event now, and it's we've put Darren Burrows. He says, please, he wants his slide up. He says he'll win it, and Sparkling Water. He's going for that in a big way. Back with us, welcome. Nice to have you. 8th race, we're going over the 2,400 metres. Alphatic is top of the boards at 2 to 1. Number 2, Royal Mazarin, is 3 to 1. Joint seconds with the 5, Flag Bearer, trading at 3 to 1. The 3, Go Dream Machine, is 9 to 2. And then 10 to 1 about Global Breeze. 10 to 1, in fact, better the others. So let's talk about this favourite because we watched it the other day. What did you make of that?
Disappointing, to say the least.
Well, I mean, I suppose Michael said, what was it, a first handicap run, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that. So maybe give it a chance to find its feet. But we were so impressed with the way it won its 1 year after its comeback rest, so to speak.
Yeah, it was disappointing. We expected more from him. But he was beaten a long way out. Perhaps that's the reason why they fitted him with a set of blinkers this time around, Clyde. You know, he's only having his 4th start, whereas most in this race are well exposed. If he's decent, I mean, surely he has to be better than his current rating. So he is my topic. I just hope that was a flat run last time out, and that's
if it
not
wasn't
his
a flat run, he can't win.
Yeah, then he's in trouble.
If it wasn't a flat run, he can't win today.
Yeah,
not on that last start. Then he's got Joe Soma's Royal Mazarin to beat.
Yes, I like Royal Mazarin. I mean. But there's a few over here that have all got chances. I made this one of the more difficult races on the card.
Yep.
Even Flag Bearer, you can just put a line through his last starts. I mean, he was 3 wide with no cover. Didn't really get asked for much in the straight. Go Dream Machines. Royal Mazarin, a little bit off-putting his respiratory noises over this sort of distance.
Yeah.
But if he gets to the front and he dictates, he's probably going to be the horse to beat. But let's see how Alphatic goes today. Like we said, if he doesn't win today, I think he could be in trouble going forward.
All right, well, we'll see what he's all about. This is the 8th race on the card. It's the penultimate of the afternoon, and our recommendation to you from a weighted to win perspective is to take quartets. It's probably the safest thing to do with 1, Alphatic, 2, Royal Mazarin, the 3 horse Go Dream Machine, and the 5, Flag Bearer. Our last here at Turffontein today, and glorious morning this morning with the wind blowing about and lovely racing. It's our 9th. Those that are watching live, fantastic. Those that will be watching this whilst the 9th race is about to run. Hopefully you've had a pleasant day's racing. Let's get into the last where Porto Plata's top of the boards at 3 to 1. That's number 6 on the card. 12 Sharapova is the second choice, the first time at the races for this horse. 33 to 10 in terms of the early market. Number 1 Sylvan, early morning market anyway. 1 Sylvan Theatre, 9 to 2 from the same stable. And it's interesting because I know Daryl's quite big on Sylvan Theatre. We'll chat to him in a moment about that. And then you've got number 3, Billy Spellbound, who's at 11 to 2. It's double figures about the others. We're going into the final leg of the Pick 6 Place Accumulator. Hopefully we're running.
We should be.
And this first time of Sharapova.
Yeah, I don't know anything about her, Clyde. There's no comments. We all remember her mom, another Russia.
Yes.
I mean, well above average filly.
Very much so.
My concern over here is there hasn't been any anti-post support for her. She's in the region of 33 to 10.
Yeah.
So I think if she's
shorter than the one you like, funny enough, Sylvan Theatre, right? Because I know you like her.
Yeah, him.
So him, I beg your pardon. So the market, one needs to be curious as to why they would have that second choice and not third choice. I mean,
I think the market will speak louder closer to race time.
Yeah.
Sylvan Theatre, I've been waiting for him to go over ground. His half brother, I think, won over 1800, and since from day one, I've said this horse, when he gets stepped up, in distance. I think he could win a few. I'm not saying he's going to go to Hollywood, but he's not going to retire a one-time winner, Clyde. So he's going to be my top pick. This horse, Puerto Plata, Clyde. He's a half-brother to Puerto Manzana. I don't know if they backed him on debut, but he started short in the market. I think he started at 6 to 10 on that occasion. He didn't raise a gallop. So one has to believe he's much better than that effort. He's obviously one for the shortlist of a year. Wonderworld, he's having his first run as a gelding. I don't know how ready he's going to be, but he can certainly improve on what he's shown on debut. And then Billy Spellbound. I know it looks like on paper he improved and he ran a nice race last time out, but that form line hasn't stood up as of yet. It is a slight concern. So I'm only going to tip him back and forth.
So Sylvan Theatre, the right one for you.
I think currently at 4 to 1.
Well, it's 9 to 2.
9 to 2.
9 to 2, and you asked nicely, you get 5 to 1. And
Can
take quartets on the
Well,
tote.
I'm asking now. Can I please get some 5 to 1?
Make the call. You'll get it, I think. So you like that, eh? We can
Yes,
have a
I'm
bit
going to
of a
say
tip.
he's worth it each way bet because I don't believe he'll finish out of the money. So at around R1.80 a place, you basically getting your money back and you got the win for free.
For free. Okay. Excellent. That takes care of our Waiter to Win preview, the last. This is what we're going to do. We'll have a quick look at it, and you guys can decide for yourself. Daryl Marie is big on Sylvan Theatre, as you can see. On the top left of the screen, it does show each way, win and place as perhaps the right one. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for supporting Waiter to Win. Hope it will be, and hope it was a fabulous time.